Hey, what's up? It's me, Zeb, here on Zeb's Corner. Thank you for joining me today. And this is going to be a simple question, more of a discussion, more of a rant off the top of my head. And the question is, what DAW do you use? For most recording people or people who are making beats and stuff like that, or mainly for those who are on the mixing and the recording end, a lot of people use several different DAWs: Studio One, Cubase, FL Studio, whatever have you, and a popular known one is Pro Tools. Now, I am a Pro Tools user. At first, I wasn't a Pro Tools user, but I'll get into that in a little bit later. And then, once I switched, I kind of never went back. However, the reason why I asked this question was I saw it in a Facebook group. The question was, what DAW do you use, or is Pro Tools pretty much an obsolete software? And a lot of people were saying that it is. They don't like it. They think it's overrated. They think it's old, and it's old standard, and they went into other DAWs that they use. They left Pro Tools years ago, and some use Reaper, some use Studio One, and whatever it is that they used to, or whatever it is that they're using now, they quit using Pro Tools. Is Pro Tools old? And I'm going to say no and yes, to a certain degree. Why is Pro Tools the standard in the market of recording today? And I really don't know the answer to that question. I'm just asking the question. I think it's become a standard for one particular reason. Other DAWs give you the ability to do certain things that were and are ahead of what Pro Tools can do. However, what I think Pro Tools has upon other DAWs is the ability to customize your template, your mixing template, your recording template in ways that are not as customizable in some other DAWs. I'm not going to say the other DAWs are not any good. I'm not going to say they're horrible. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. It all is dependent upon your taste. Now, a lot of people who are making beats these days are using FL Studio. I'm not a fan of FL Studio completely, but when I started playing with some stuff in my house, it was one of the first things that I had. Before it was called FL, it was called Fruity Loops. And I liked it at the time, and then actually I had Reason, but I never really used Reason. I was given the first copy of it, and it looked very jarring to me when I opened up the window. And I was just like, this is too much. And I got rid of it, and then, long story short, I went to a studio in Brooklyn. He had Reason. I said, well, let me give it a try. And once I did, I never went back as far as using Reason to make beats. At the time, Reason was not nearly where it is today, so it was only a thing that you would use to construct tracks and beats. Such is the case with FL Studio. It wasn't a wide DAW where you could record vocals and mix and use third-party plugins. It was just a beat-making software. And now that it's expanded, you can do a whole lot more. Reason can do the same thing, a little bit late, but they caught on, and when they've actually caught on, it's actually pretty good. I actually like it. But I don't mix in it alone. I mix in Pro Tools. And my reason for mixing in Pro Tools is, again, the way that you could manipulate the software to do certain things that other softwares do not allow. And we won't really get into the whole gamut of that. But know for certain, for those who watch a lot of tutorials here on YouTube, that when you use Pro Tools as the example for mixing, there are certain things that is done in Pro Tools that is not done in other DAWs. And that's what I think makes Pro Tools the leading standard as far as recording is concerned. It beats others in that area. You could reroute, send, a whole bunch of different stuff. I mean, you could really make your particular template modeled after almost any actual SSL board or Neve or whatever have you. You could configure it to the settings of something a little bit older and a little bit newer. Some other DAWs give you the basic stuff: track, bus, sends, groups, same old stuff. It's not bad. That's actually pretty good. But when you really want to bend and twist and do certain things that you can't do in, let's say, Studio One, Pro Tools gives you that ability, which gives you much more a broader aspect in mixing. Some say you won't even need that, and that's probably true. But the ability to do it, and when you are able to do it, the outcome is far greater, in my opinion, than what you would do, let's say, in another DAW. Now, I give you this. Studio One has great headroom when you use it. I have Studio One, I like it. I like the ability that Studio One gives you the ability to take one session and open multiple sessions within one window. That's awesome. However, Pro Tools doesn't allow you to do that. It will kill your poor machine and you have to close out one session to open another session. It's not a big deal. But what if you wanted to pull something from one session into another? Studio One gives you a little bit of a different ease in doing so as opposed to Pro Tools. There's always ways to get around a particular thing. And once you get around that, you're able to control, you're able to actually adjust. And I think a lot of people have a hard time wanting to adjust to certain elements. There's a new Pro Tools 2019, and I'm hearing that the update is not that much of a difference from what it was before. A lot of people are not into paying the monthly subscription that comes with the new Pro Tools 12 and whatever, and they're not really happy about that. Some are still stuck on Pro Tools 10. I'm one of them. I think the update is not giving a whole bunch of people much of a huge difference. So some people are very comfortable with what they have in an older model, not too old, but an older model of Pro Tools. And that's where Pro Tools kind of falls short. The updates do not equate its cost and price. And that's why a lot of people are moving themselves away from Pro Tools. Now, if you go to a huge studio and much more of everything else, more than likely they're going to have Pro Tools. They may have other things as well for other customers who may use other things, but the mainstay would be Pro Tools. This is not a Pro Tools advice or plug, or they're not sponsoring me by any means. However, I do believe that Pro Tools has a reason of leading as opposed to others. While there are other options for you to use, they just don't seem to lead, and it could be a monopoly thing that Pro Tools is using that I'm not aware of. But others are doing fairly well, but not everybody's catching on to them. So while you may have something in the house or in your home or in your little bedroom studio, whatever have you, it may not necessarily compare to what you would get as if you went someplace else. Finding another studio that has Studio One or has Reaper or has Harrison Mixbus or anything like that is going to be a little tricky, because this leading standard still is Pro Tools. So while other people may want to remove themselves from Pro Tools, and you're free to do so, understand that because it's leading, it's still up there in the higher end for many things. Avid does movie software stuff. They have an editing software, as well as the stuff that they do with the software connects with what they do with the music stuff or the audio stuff. No different from how Adobe has Premiere and has Audition that connects to that. And that's the brilliant thing. I actually kind of like that. But we're not talking about video stuff. We're talking about just the simple concept of should Pro Tools be removed from the standard? And I personally say no. There are things that Pro Tools should catch up on, and it's taking them many years to catch on. Like, one of the things that used to irk me was Cubase, years ahead of its game, would allow you to take a wave, raise the wave, and the volume of that wave would get louder. Or if you squish it, it would get softer. It took Pro Tools up in the 10th version to give you that, while Cubase 5 had already did that. And I even think Cubase 4 was doing that. So you're talking about the early 2000s, even probably the late 1990s or something like that. So it was way ahead of its game, and Pro Tools took too long to get that. Did they have another way to get around that? Yes, they did. But the ease of just raising the wave or cutting that section and bringing it up was a lot easier and simpler to do. And it took Pro Tools a gazillion years to get to that. And I don't think the algorithm or the programming is what made it difficult. I just think they did not really want to bend. And a lot of times, when you don't bend as far as a product that is good, you lose out on other products that are doing what one isn't doing or what you're not doing. This is sort of a note to Pro Tools. You know, the subscription thing is not cutting it. A lot of people are not feeling it, and I'm sure they're making their money for the major places that do it, but $30 a month or whatever the fee is, it just doesn't make sense. I want to be able to buy in one time and make my updates, and when the updates come, I want to see something major. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I think that's a choice for those who wish to pay it and don't mind paying it. And for those who don't mind, 10 still exists. 11 is but hey, it's an option, and you don't have to worry about certain things with that. Choice is yours. What do you like? Do you like FL? Do you like Reaper? Do you like Studio One? Do you like Miss Harrison Bus? Actually, I play with it. It's cute. But it's all a matter of taste and choice and preference. Pro Tools is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. At least I don't think so. And I like what it could do. I just wish it didn't take so long to make certain updates and adjustments within their product. Either way, hope you guys like what I have to give you today. It was short, quick, and sweet. And I will probably see you tomorrow. I'm still trying to do this 30-day thing, and I'm just waiting for the month of May to be over. Because this stuff is really hard. So I always have to come up with stuff. I have a whole bunch of stuff to do, and it's just 30 days or 3 days per film is kind of hard for me to do. I will not lie. Forget the whole Monday and Wednesdays and Fridays. I tried that. It's not working. But I will not give up and give you stuff every 3 days. Or, you know what I mean. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm about to be out of here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. If you hit the like, subscribe, and hit the little belly thing to let you guys know I'm coming with stuff when I come with stuff. So, I'm Ghost.